sedation, and the best of dental implant solutions to restore complete oral health. Open until 7 p.m. 2 nights a week. 931-388-8452. Beck Dental Care in Columbia, 1603 Rosewood Drive.
Sports talk show you've always wanted. It's Southern Middle Tennessee Sports Today. From preps to pros. Live from the Lee Company studio. With the Hall of Famer Mo Patton, here's Chris Yao.
Welcome back into Southern Middle Tennessee Sports Today, presented by Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint. Chris Yao, Mo Patton, JP Plant. Glad to have you guys with us here. And as we get ready to continue our preview of the Southeastern Conference football teams throughout the next couple of weeks, we are closing in on the end. Just a few teams left. Maybe about
7.
Is it half?
Yeah.
Okay, so we'll be halfway done after today. Felt like it's been longer. Maybe
We've
not.
been doing it longer.
Oh, okay.
We've just not done them on a day-to-day basis as we had originally planned for various reasons.
Things happen.
No doubt.
Today, though, we will talk about the Mississippi State Bulldogs as we are joined by Mississippi State play-by-play voice Neil Price. Neil, thanks for joining us today.
Glad to do it. Hope you guys are doing well.
We're doing well. We're just trying to stay cool, Neil, after we were trying to stay dry over the weekend. But obviously we got our first week of high school football in this past weekend. Still a couple of weeks away for you at the collegiate level. But, what are you liking about year 2 of Mike Leach as that approaches?
Well, I think, Mo, they've got a little more depth at just about every position than they did a year ago, and that always helps. They have more experience with regard to reps running the air raid, and a lot of the players will tell you that it's not a hard offense to learn. The concepts aren't that unusual, but it's a hard offense to perfect because there are a lot of little details that go into running it the right way. And they've got some experience now in knowing what those are and what the expectation is with regard to, trying to do a better job of that in year 2. They have talent. It's just really young. So, how does all that translate to wins and losses? We'll see. But I do think that they'll take a step forward this year, and that will be a big win in a lot of people's minds here.
Neil, when you say experience, one of the positives here is there are 3 starters return from that offensive line, and that's huge.
Yeah, it is, but that and to me, that's the unit that's going to determine how much success this team has over the course of the season. Now that was a group that wasn't very popular a year ago, and in fairness to those offensive linemen, they were being asked to block and do some things that they weren't brought here to do when they were recruited by previous staff. They were brought here as run blockers, and they were being asked to pass block, be more athletic, get out on the edge and try to spring some blocks for wide receivers in the screen game. They weren't accustomed to that. Their bodies have changed. They've really worked in strength and conditioning to try and get these guys in the place that they need to be to go out and play more on the edge. And if they can get it all together, because even though you got 3 returning starters back, you're going to have 2 guys on that offensive line that have not played with that group before. And even in that group of 3 returnees, they're going to be playing at some different spots too. So there's still some chemistry, still some gelling that has to occur. But if those guys can figure it out, they very well could be the key to what kind of year State's going to have.
Well, on top of that, you get Will Rogers. He's assuming he wins the job. He's got some competition, and incoming transfer Jack Abraham. Is Will Rogers the quarterback, or is there a serious competition right now?
I think if you ask the locker room, Will Rogers is the quarterback. He is really, really good when it comes to leadership. Coach's son. It shows when you're around him. He talks like a veteran guy, even though he's only a sophomore, and his teammates love him. So I think it's his job to lose. The guy who has emerged that, is kind of in that number 2 spot right now is Chance Levertich. And Chance played at South Alabama. Grad transfer. Jack Abraham had an injury in the off season coming out of that spring game. So now Chance has stepped in and has made the most of an opportunity that maybe he wouldn't have gotten otherwise. And veteran guy, you can tell that in the way he carries himself. He gets the ball out of his hand quick. I think that's a good thing in this offense. Seems to make the right decisions. The biggest obstacle I think he has, he's not very tall. And, if you get a good pass rush and that offensive line starts to collapse on you a little bit, it's hard for him to see to get the ball out of there. But he uses legs well, makes good decisions, avoids sacks, and keeps plays alive because of his mobility. So that's the guy that has been a pleasant surprise coming out of the spring and coming out of fall camp, is that, okay, they're going to be without a guy who they thought was going to be their number 2, and a good number 2 at that, in Jack Abraham, and now they've got a guy who could very well be very serviceable in Chance Levertich.
Speaking on the phone here on Southern Middle Tennessee Sports today with Mississippi State play-by-play announcer Neil Price. Neil, being where we are, I'm obliged to ask you about redshirt senior safety Landon Guidry, one of 2 guys from Williamson County here on the Mississippi State roster, and I'm gonna get to the other one here in just a second. But what do you feel like the plans are for Landon? What position has he played his way into here, heading into the 2021 campaign?
Well, he was the guy they used at what they call dog safety, or basically nickelback, a lot last year. And, what I like about him, Mo, is he goes downhill now. I mean, he goes towards the ball, and he goes with reckless abandon. And that's pretty good if you're playing that position. So, he'll have an opportunity. I think secondary is one of the areas on this team where maybe they've got the most competition, because you've got some guys that were injured a year ago that are back in the mix this time around. And that makes it a little bit tougher. Experienced guys who had to miss because of injury. So it's not going to be given. But I think Landon can play his way into a rotation there and certainly find a spot for himself without question, based on what he's done here in the last couple of years.
Well, when you say he comes downhill, clearly nothing has changed from his days at Independence, because he typically got to the ball and had bad intentions in mind when he got there. Tucker Day from Brentwood High School, also a redshirt senior in the program, listed as a punter on y'all's roster. Think he got supplanted at some point last year. Where is he right now?
He split time at that spot last year. Some of that was because of injury. Some of it was because of performance. I think he's been very steady in the 2 preseason scrimmages so far. They've worked with him on his mechanics a little bit. The biggest thing for him, just based on what we've got on paper, is consistency. I don't know that you could look at him and say that he's been wildly consistent since he's been here. But if he can step into that role, be consistent, I think it's his job to lose because he's very talented. Was talented coming out of high school. I mean, he was a highly rated guy coming out of Brentwood. And I think that, right now he's the guy at that spot. They got a lot of guys on the roster they list as kickers and punters, though. So I mean, and the thing you get from every special teams coach is we chart those guys every day. And I think it's kind of like being a pitcher in baseball. You're only asked to go out there once every 5 days, but boy, everybody's got their attention on you when you're out there. If you're the punter, you may only be out there, 3 or 4 plays in the course of a game, but everybody remembers what you did. So it's a high-pressure position where you have to be consistent, and that's the challenge for Tucker this year.
No question. Speaking with Neil Price, talking a little Mississippi State football. Neil, looking at y'all's schedule, opening with Louisiana Tech coming in there, North Carolina State the following week, and at Memphis after that. So not exactly the easiest pre-conference slate prior to your September 25th matchup with LSU there in Starkville.
Yeah, I think it's a good schedule if you like college football because you got some real teams on there early. And La Tech is a team that has not, been expected to do a ton in Conference USA based on what they've done with Skip Holtz there. And I'm sure they're going to have a chip on their shoulder because of that. They've got some really good linebackers. They've got a great receiver coming back. They've got a quarterback battle of their own that they're trying to sort through right now that involves a guy who's been at Oklahoma and West Virginia and backed up some pretty good quarterbacks there. So, I think that they're going to be a real test in an opener. NC State was really good last year against an all-ACC schedule. So that'll be a tough one here at home. And in Memphis, somebody asked me a couple weeks ago how many points you think will be scored in that game. And I said, well, it's potential to be really high based on, if the air raid gets going here and Memphis is what it's been, there's a chance for some fireworks in that one. And then you got LSU coming in to start the SEC at the end of the month. So, if somehow State could navigate the month of September and find its way to 3-1, if it could win 3 of those first 4, it's got a chance to set itself up for a really, really good year. But when you turn to October now, things get real quickly because you got Alabama and A&M right there back to back, and that's as tough as anybody's got back to back weeks on the schedule. So you've got to find a way to get off to a good start and then weather the storm there in the middle and see what you can do when you get to November.
Well, whoever set the schedule up at least did you all a favor with that one because you go to College Station on October 2nd. Then you got an open date before Alabama comes in on the 16th. So
open date there. And I think they play Vandy in Kentucky coming off of open date after that. Yeah.
Correct.
So, yeah, that's a good place to have an open date, though. Ain't no question about that.
Yeah, the scheduling office in Birmingham has certainly been accused of helping out some Alabama opponents in the past.
Well, it's all done by computer, supposedly.
Yeah.
The computer doesn't play favorites.
Blind draw. Hey, one other matchup on this schedule, Neil Price, we want to mention and get your thoughts on real quick. Tennessee State, first-year coach Eddie George roll into Davis-Wade Stadium on November 20th.
Yeah, I think that game could be a lot of fun. You look at that league. I say league, but look at what's happening with like TSU. Obviously, there's been a ton of interest and talk about Jackson State in Mississippi because Deion Sanders, another great pro player, is coaching that team now. I think it's good for college football, and in particular for a couple programs that are at that FCS level that have history, but maybe it hasn't been, the tradition hasn't been there as much maybe in recent years. I think it's great because, you know this, Mo, and I remember it being at Middle. TSU, that's an atmosphere. Even when the football's bad, it's an atmosphere. It's a fun place to go see a game, and I think it's great that Eddie's there. I hope he does well. I just hope he doesn't do well when they come down here in November.
I'm sure that several others in your camp feel the same way. Neil, thanks so much for taking some time with us today. We appreciate it.
I enjoyed it, guys. The best to you guys, high school football, everything else going on there in southern Middle Tennessee. It's a great part of the world.
No doubt, no doubt. All right, Neil Price there, talking a little Mississippi State football. When we come back, we're going to talk about the Atlanta Braves and their matchup with the Yankees. So stick around. Southern Middle Tennessee Sports Today returns right after this.
One-stop shopping. That's why so many people shop Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, Ram, Fiat of Columbia. As the #1 volume CDJR dealer in Tennessee, we offer the largest selection of new Ram, Jeep, Dodge, and Chrysler vehicles. And when you have the largest selection of new, you have the largest selection of used, too. Combine that with state-of-the-art, fast, accurate service, and you've got Tennessee's #1 volume dealer. Shop online at Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, Ram of Columbia.net. Middle Tennessee's Ram Truck and Jeep headquarters. You can count on us. Based on combined retail and fleet sales as awarded by Chrysler in the state of Tennessee in 2019.
Hello, I'm Barbara Lincoln with Hollins Pharmacy. You may have heard our previous commercials about compression hosiery that we carry at Hollins Pharmacy. Well, we've recently expanded into a full line of knee braces, back, wrist, ankle, and other support wear. We will gladly help you get just the right fit for these items and, of course, special order items to ensure the proper fit. Come see us at Hollins Pharmacy, 1608 Hatcher Lane, or call us at 931-388-4233. 388-4233.
If you come to Arby's from 2 to 5 p.m., you can get sliders for $1. For another $1, you can get a small drink or fries or a snack shake. And for the low price of another $1, you can round out this afternoon snack with warm cookies. It's really a meal at this point, but call it a snack. That way, you can come back for dinner. Arby's, we have the meat.
Dollar price valid for small fries and drinks, snack shakes, and classic sliders. Available at participating locations for a limited time.
Hey folks, this is Chandler Anderson from the Right Care Clinic located in front of Walmart. We've been open 11 years there now, and 11 seems to be our magic number. We open at 11 a.m. to 11 p.m., and we're open 7 days a week to make sure that you get the right care you need. Come on by and see Caitlin, Kim, and Robert, and they'll get you the right care. Remember, we were there for you during COVID. We never shut our doors. Right Care Walk-In Clinic located in front of Walmart, open 11 a.m. to 11 p.m. every day of the week. Remember, folks, we stay late so you don't wait.
Serving Murray County for 40 years, the Jewelers Bench has provided the highest quality jewelry at the very best prices. They work hard to make their customers happy, and it's paid off. Their customers keep going back. Quality jewelry, custom vintage and estate pieces, and professional jewelry and watch repairs. We offer jewelry loans up to $4,500, and we will buy your gold. The Jewelers Bench, still here, still the same. 808 Trotwood Avenue, Columbia.
Terrence here at Shepherd Lumberyard, where we value you, the customer. We've been serving Columbia and surrounding areas since 1946. We're located in our new location at 103 Cemetery Avenue. Anything that has to do with building or remodeling, we're here to assist. When you shop local, you help shape the community. We are locally owned, family owned, and veteran owned. And by the way, God is in charge. You can reach us at 931-388-3612, and our website is shepherdlumberyard@yahoo.com.
Hey, this is Derek Ransom with 10 Pin Alley, voted #1 family entertainment center in Murray County. We offer 32 bowling lanes, giant arcade, laser tag, bumper cars, and a full cafe and bar menu. We also specialize in group events, kids and adult birthday parties, company parties, sports team parties, and holiday parties. We're located at 322 East James Campbell Boulevard in Columbia. Call us today at 931-381-BOWL or visit us at 10pin.com. 10 Pin Alley, it's where the good times roll.
This is Lee Maddox, voice of the Columbia Central High Lions football. We are excited for our 75th year of broadcasting Lions football on WKRM 103.7 and 1340 AM. Join us this Friday, August 13th at Lindsey Nelson Stadium for the Murray County Jamboree presented by First Farmers. Columbia Academy will face Good Pasture at 6 p.m., followed by Spring Hill and Dixon County at 7, and at 8 p.m. your Columbia Lions will face Creekwood. That's this Friday, August 13th at Lindsey Nelson Stadium, the Murray County Jamboree presented by First Farmers.
when the Braves play. Chris and Mo are talking about it.
Yeah, that's trash can juice.
Speak for yourself.
For better or worse, on Southern Middle Tennessee Sports Today. Back to the Lee Company studio. Yep, they're fans too. Here's Chris and Mo.
Yes, we are fans, especially when the Braves are on a 9-game win streak and a 3-series sweep streak. And yeah, it's good times, great oldies. Welcome back to Southern Middle Tennessee Sports Day, presented by Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint. Chris Yao, Mo Patton, JP Plant. For those of you looking for us on video, we're sorry. We are? Oh, we're not sorry. Sorry, not sorry. Anyway, welcome. I didn't even know we were on video.
Sup?
That's exciting. This is good news. Good news. We got to talk some baseball, but first, we got to pay some bills.
Jason Egley is proud to be your local farmer's agent. Give him a call at 615-250-2723, 615-250-2723, and get smart about your coverage. If you are an educator or a teacher, Jason's going to give you a discount. So make sure to give Jason Egley a call. Lawrenceburg native, Jason Egley. Gotta love him. That's 615-250-2723. Again, get smart about your coverage and call Jason Egley, your local farmer's agent.
Underwritten by Farmers Truck Fire Insurance Exchanges and Affiliates. Products not available in every state.
All right. We love Jason Egley. Talk about the Braves. They get the Yankees tonight at home. And first pitch at 6:20, 5:05 pregame. Both teams come in with a 9-game win streak, and according to Elias Sports,
they would know. They'd come as close as anybody would to knowing, that's for sure.
This is the first time since 1901 that two teams on a 9-game win streak will play.
That's impressive.
Only the third time ever. First in 120 years. That's pretty cool. So,
well, hopefully the right team will be on a 10-game win streak after this one.
All I'm saying, this is, to me, it's nuts because, we talked about how bad this team was at. I mean, they weren't bad; they just weren't winning. Just well, you can be good and just be unlucky. I mean, a lot of one-run games here, there, a lot of blown saves. I mean, not everybody was bad all year long. There were times where the hitting was really good and the pitching just wasn't, or the pitching was really good and the hitting never came. When you get when you get on a streak like this and a part of the schedule where you get a chance to right the ship a little bit,
and you do,
it can be huge going down the stretch.
That's the thing. Everybody wants to talk about, well, it was Washington, Miami, Baltimore. That's what you were supposed to do. There are a lot. Ask Philly about that.
Yeah. You can ask a lot of teams.
Just because that's what you're supposed to do.
Ask the Cardinals about losing 4-0 to the Pirates.
Ask the Cardinals about getting swept by the Braves.
Yeah, they didn't expect that. They thought they were going to right this ship.
Yeah, they thought that was where they were going to get well. Oops. So just because that's what you're supposed to do doesn't necessarily mean you're not due credit when you do it. Because it doesn't always happen like that. Those guys are getting paid too. Just saying.
Even if they are, AA and AAA guys that are just filling time.
Or trying out for 2022.
That's, I mean.
Which is what a lot of the guys in Baltimore are doing. I think probably other than Cedric Mullins and Richie Martin, everybody's playing for a spot on that roster next year.
Or a roster. I don't know if they'd want to play on that one. But hey, there's that.
Well, if the choice is there or AAA, I think you'd probably rather be there. But
most certainly.
Short of that, yeah, you're right.
Yeah, I mean, this series that's coming up is really going to be, and I think it's 8 of the 17 of the next 17 games or something are against teams that are over 800, or I'm sorry, over 500.
Don't scare me like that.
They're all over 500, and I'm pretty sure all 8 of them are in a row.
They've got this odd little 2-game series against the Yankees, and they're off Wednesday, Thursday.
Which is weird in itself.
It
Why you got a
is.
2-game series and 2 off days? What?
And what I read was the Yankees, when this schedule was being put together, requested to play Monday and Tuesday because they play Thursday. Maybe against Oakland? I don't know. But they requested to play Monday, Tuesday, and have Wednesday off before they start a series on Thursday. And Braves said, we don't care.
Sounds good to us.
Yeah.
Anybody, anywhere, anytime. Let's go.
Yeah, we'll play you whenever. So, and we'll take 2 days off in a row.
Sure.
So yeah. So they're off 2 straight. Then they play a 3-game series at Truist against San Francisco, which I think has the top record in Major League Baseball. Then they go to the Dodgers for 3, to Colorado for 3. That gets you into Labor Day weekend. Actually off on Labor Day, and then they come home for 3-6-9 against Washington, Miami, and Colorado.
Be careful with Colorado. That's a dangerous little team, by the way.
And really kind of getting overlooked because they're out there in the NL West with the Giants and the Dodgers and the Padres. We're going to talk more about the Padres.
We'll get the Padres in just a second. Yeah, I'm curious. You know, if this team can continue this hot streak. I mean,
I don't know if they can continue this hot streak, but I think they're going to continue to play well.
I think the top 6 in this lineup that's playing tonight is as good as anybody in the country. You've got Albies, Soler, Freeman, Riley, Swanson, Duvall. Then Contreras and Heredia get the start tonight for the Braves. But even those 2 haven't been bad. Contreras has struggled at times, but Heredia has been a doubles machine.
Contreras is a rookie, you know, and he's in there because D'Arnaud went on the paternity list over the weekend.
Yeah. Signed a 2-year deal, hit a dinger, had a kid.
Does it get any better than that?
No.
So, yeah. Have they actually had their child yet? I've not seen. I don't know.
That I don't know.
Because somebody was asking on Twitter yesterday, when is D'Arnaud going to be back? I said, well, he's on paternity list, so I guess you might ought to ask Mrs. D'Arnaud.
No doubt. You can say, and you know, at least Huascar Ynoa is playing an American League team at home, so he gets to hit.
Exactly.
Unlike Max Fried.
Hashtag pitchers who rake. Is he hitting like 362?
I don't know, but he and Fried have 2 of the best, if not the 2 best, batting averages on the team. So letting them hit is a good thing.
I think so.
I'm here for that. Let's go ahead and get into this Padres thing, but first give me this day in Braves history, and don't read your last sentence because it's not true.
On August 23rd, 2011, Jason Hayward's first Grand Slam keys a 5-run 5th inning, and Craig Kimbrell ties the rookie record set in 2010 by Neftali Perez with his 40th save as the Braves win 5-4 over the host Chicago Cubs. Kimbrell went on to notch 6 more saves that season, setting a rookie major league mark with 46 saves that still stands.
Those are good times. I miss those days.
Those were good times.
Hayward a Cub. Still, Kimbrell now a White Sox.
That's right. He is
he
a
got
White
traded.
Sox. And you don't see that often.
The crosstown trade?
Yeah.
You ain't got to move?
You can't stay here.
But yeah, it was kind of sad watching them in stripes. I won't lie.
I was really hurt when Freddie Freeman was extended and Jason Hayward was not that first time. And I've pretty well had to eat my words since because you know, Jason has had a solid career.
Sure.
He's not been what a lot of people expected him to be based on his start in Atlanta, and me being one of them.
A lot of that is because of, and this is just my opinion, maybe I'm wrong, but I think a lot of it's because he got hit in the face. When he got his face broken, that kind of screws with you.
Well, that'll do it.
I mean, Dansby had the same issue. You know, and when he came back, he was pretty timid for a little while.
And I think when you are a guy that dives, it particularly messes with you. When you go down to get that outside pitch.
Yeah. And that's why when Dansby is good, he's hitting the ball opposite field.
Mm-hmm.
Because he can wait on that pitch and go oppo with it and not be, afraid of that inside pitch. So I think it just messed with Jason's head, and rightfully so. There's no reason not to, to be angry with him about it. He broke his face. I mean, he got hit in the face with a fastball.
In the face.
I mean, I'd be upset. I would be scared too. So I get it, and I think that's a lot of his decline, and it does stink, and it was compounded when they gave Nick Markakis number 22.
Ooh.
I was so angry. Like, I was ready to burn all of my Braves gear.
And it hurt me because this is a kid who grew up just outside of Atlanta.
Right.
I mean, he's as homegrown as it gets. I mean, other than Dansby.
Right.
So,
all right, let's talk about the Padres.
Let's do, because today, in a decision that Jace Tingler said was 100% his.
I tell you whose decision it wasn't.
Well, it wasn't Larry Rothschild's decision, I do not believe, because the longtime Major League pitching coach has been dismissed from that position with the Padres after 2 seasons. San Diego has lost 9 of its last 11. It's fallen to 3rd place in the NL West, 13 games behind the San Francisco Giants, and 1 game behind the Cincinnati Reds for the 2nd and last NL wildcard spot. This is a team that was expected to play for the NL West championship after all of their offseason moves elevated them to a level equal to, if not ahead of, the LA Dodgers.
Yeah, I think at some point we need to dive into the Ryan Weathers situation, because Ryan took another loss over the weekend, and I think your suggestion is right on. And I don't think that the pitching situation is necessarily the problem of Larry Rothschild. They didn't know what they were doing from the get. They didn't know how they were going to manage the bullpen, how they were going to manage their starters, who was going to be starters. They had no idea what they were doing, and now you're going to blame this guy? This is the guy you're going to blame? I mean, whatever. I get it, but the Padres are scared.
Well, I mean, he wasn't going to blame himself.
Right.
That's why pitching coaches are there,
He and the bench coach. That's it. But I mean, that's kind of the situation that you're in, and it's unfortunate because they're worried that they may not even make the playoffs.
They should be worried.
So
the pitching staff had a 4.82 ERA in August.
The Braves bullpen had like a 3.46, and if you take Josh Tomlin out, it dropped to like 2.84. So.
Let's take Josh Tomlin out.
Well, Ian Anderson's coming back, so we'll get to him.
There we go.
All right, that's going to do it for our baseball segment today. We still got high school football coming up. It's going to be coming up in hour 2. We're going to talk to you on the way, all the way home. On your drive home, we'll talk high school football, so make sure to stick around in hour number 2. But first, we'll talk about the Tennessee Titans with Teresa Walker of the Associated Press. We'll talk about their nice work down in Tampa. What's going on with Mike Vrabel? Will A.J. Brown be back? Also, of course, we'll talk a little bit about Floyd Reese. So stick around on Southern Middle Tennessee Sports Today. We'll return right after this.
Progressive Motorcycle presents Road Wisdom from the Motor.
The road is everything you want it to be. As long as what you want is road.
To ride your motorcycle on. Progressive Motorcycle also presents basic policy starting at $79 a year. Progressive Motorcycle, for those who were born to ride. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates. Annual premium for basic liability policy is not available in all states.
Roofing isn't something you think about until you need it. When you do, let Roof Systems Inc. be your first call. Roof Systems Inc. is locally owned and has been providing excellent service since 1983. From repairing roofs on small homes or installing new roofs for large commercial retailers, no job is too big or too small. Why choose Roof Systems Inc.? Well, in our customers' words, best experience I've had with construction-related business. Honest, professional, friendly, and affordable. Call today, 931-398-5977. That's 931-398-5977.
The mad dash to a mass evacuation. I'm Lisa Brady, Fox News. The U.S. ramping up its commitment to would-be evacuees in Afghanistan.
We will continue to get Afghans at risk out of the country even after U.S. military forces have left.
National Security Advisor Jake Sullivan amid continued concern about militant attacks outside Kabul airport, even as the Taliban pledges safe passage. AP now reporting that senior military officials say U.S. Special Operations Forces retrieved 16 American citizens from about 2 hours outside the airport early today, bringing them back to Kabul for evacuation processing. The Pentagon declining to offer details on rescue missions for security reasons. So far, some 37,000 have been evacuated now over 9 days. President Biden hailing today's full FDA approval of the Pfizer COVID vaccine, urging more Americans to get vaccinated.
If you're one of the millions of Americans who said that they will not get the shot until it has full and final approval of the FDA, it has now happened.
He's also urging private companies to use it as a springboard for vaccine mandates. Police in Tennessee still hoping to find more of the missing after flooding that killed over 20 people.
Waverly Police Chief Grant Gillespie says there has been progress locating people who are safe, but there are others who are still cause for concern.
We're less than 10 right now that we're truly not sure about the whereabouts of.
The National Weather Service said a record 17 inches of rain fell Saturday, starting floods that ravaged buildings. Humphreys County Sheriff Chris Davis.
Our people need help. We're going to be overwhelmed for the next probably 30 days at least, overwhelmed.
President Biden has offered his sympathies as well as federal help in the area's recovery.
Fox's Gernal Scott. America is listening to Fox News.
Support your heart health with delicious Super Beets Heart Chews, an essential part of my daily routine. And now you can get a free bag of vitamin D3 chews and a free bag of Super Beets Heart Chews when you buy 2 bags of Super Beets Heart Chews at superbeets.com/Fox. That's right. When you purchase 2 bags of Super Beets Heart Chews, they'll throw in a 3rd bag for free, plus a free bag of vitamin D3 chews. Hurry to superbeets.com/Fox. superbeets.com/Fox.
The Biden administration is urging the nation's highest court to keep an eviction moratorium in place.
The Biden administration says the Centers for Disease Control has statutory authority to halt evictions to prevent the spread of communicable disease. That argument is made in a filing to the U.S. Supreme Court following an appeal from a group of realtors asking the high court to block that eviction moratorium. Earlier this year, the justices narrowly approved a previous eviction ban, but Justice Brett Kavanaugh wrote it could not be extended beyond a July expiration. The CDC put in place a new moratorium for areas with substantial or high COVID spread days after that July expiration. A lower court last week upheld the moratorium.
Fox's Jared Halpern on Capitol Hill. The Reverend Jesse Jackson and his wife remain hospitalized for COVID-19, admitted over the weekend in part because of age, both in their late 70s. Jackson was fully vaccinated early on, receiving his first shot publicly in January, but a family spokesman says Mrs. Jackson has not been vaccinated. One of their sons says they are responding positively to treatment at a Chicago hospital. A Grammy winner makes her debut on a popular video app.
Taylor Swift joins TikTok, sharing her first video to the platform.
Swift like Taylor, boy, I owe them men a beating.
The star seen lip-syncing to a track from British rapper Dave, wearing different outfits representing her work, including her 2020 album, Folklore. Also teasing the upcoming release of her re-recorded 2012 album, Red. She captions, "Lots going on at the moment. Red, my version, vinyl, is up for pre-sale on my site. And oh, I'm on TikTok now. Let the games begin," along with the hashtag SwiftTalk. Kristen Goodwin, Fox News.
On Wall Street, the Dow up 215, a record close for the NASDAQ, and the S&P close to a new high. I'm Lisa Brady, Fox News.
With the right people at your company, you'll make headlines for all the right reasons. Without them, your company might just be old news. Screen for quality candidates quickly with assessments from Indeed. When hiring gets hard, you need Indeed, the job site that makes hiring incredibly simple. Just attract, interview, and hire. In fact, with Indeed, you can do all of your hiring in one place, even interviewing. Don't just hope your perfect candidate will find you. Indeed's hiring tools help you cut through the noise to hire faster and smarter. In fact, Indeed Instant Match provides a list of quality candidates whose resumes are on Indeed the moment you post a sponsored job. With Indeed Assessments, choose from 135 skills tests to help make sure you're finding applications from people with the skills you need. Join more than 3 million businesses worldwide that use Indeed to hire great talent fast. Get started right now with a $75 sponsored job credit to upgrade your job post at Indeed.com/Fox. Get a $75 credit at Indeed.com/Fox. Indeed.com/Fox. Offer valid through September 30th. Terms and conditions apply.
From the Blue Raiders to the Two-Tone Blue, covering the teams you care about. It's only on Southern Middle Tennessee Sports Today. Live from the Lee Company studio with the Hall of Famer Mo Patton, here's Chris Yao.
Welcome back into Southern Middle Tennessee Sports Today, presented by Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint. Chris Yao. The Hall of Famer Mo Patton sitting to my left. JP to my right. The cool thing is that we have the Hall of Famer on the phone. That's what I'm excited about. Sorry, Mo.
No apology necessary.
Teresa Walker of the Associated Press joining us in segment 1 of hour 2. Glad to have you guys with us on the Eagle 94.5 and WKOM 101.7 FM. Teresa, how goes it?
Hot. I'll just say this. Had to go get, test at the Titans this morning, between 8 and 9 o'clock hour. Practice didn't start till 12:15. So I hit a Chick-fil-A nearby for, outside table, power, and Wi-Fi to, do some work in the interim. And, it's hot. Did I want the AC? Yes. But, since, being tested and everything, I don't want to accidentally catch, Mike Vrabel is vaccinated and, said back in the spring he was vaccinated and he's, tested positive for COVID. So, as somebody who's been tested, several weeks in a row, 20 days, 21 days in Japan and most recently and, last year during training camp, I don't want to, catch the Delta variant that's going around right now. So it's like, I just sit outside in the shade with a big tall glass of unsweet tea and I'll just do what I need to do. But you know what? It's hot. And then you go out for a noon 12:15 practice. Guys, it was a hot one today. And I know the next couple of days are going to be even hotter. So hydrate, and try to survive.
So you said you were hanging out at Chick-fil-A. So I have to ask you, did you get the chicken minis?
I did not, because since I trust me, what I love, that's my favorite. I mean, I'm sorry if I'm there, I'm getting something. I'm getting that in the morning for breakfast most times. 9 times out of 10, 9 times out of 10 times out of 10. But I'm doing something called intermittent fasting. So now that I'm back in the States and food is easily obtained, I eat in a 2 to 3 hour window most days. So the smell nearly killed me. I'm just saying. I mean, I seriously wanted to chow down on some, get me a fruit cup, get me some of those minis. I'd have been a happy camper, but, no, I just grabbed my unsweet tea and was a good girl.
Well, kudos to you.
Yeah, no.
It wasn't easy.
I'll tell you, those, I guess the biscuit part of that is just phenomenal stuff. So.
They're like mini Sister Schubert rolls or something with chicken nuggets stuffed in them. Yeah.
So good.
Yeah. It's good stuff. But I digress. Teresa Walker getting back into the swing of things out at St. Thomas Sports Park, and you mentioned Mike Vrabel. Was that a shock to everybody's system when he announced that he is positive?
Oh, completely. I mean, usually I get the first question, and before I could start, he broke the news. And as a reporter, I'm going to say this. I'm really glad that he broke the news rather than us having to see it on some national reporter's, Twitter account. They were tweeting, but, they were tweeting right along with us because we got the same news at the same time. So that I very much appreciated. But, yeah, it did. I mean, that's the thing. We've known that, breakthrough cases are possible, right? And, Mike Vrabel confirmed that he was vaccinated back in April, I think it was, in a Zoom with Paul Kaharski's site. So, he, and if you'd seen him in practice, he hadn't been wearing a mask. So it's like, obviously he was in the group that had been vaccinated. But here's the thing, he was vaccinated. We're vaccinated. And it's like, that just kind of, for all of us, I mean, I immediately started getting, flashbacks to last year during the COVID situation for this team because, I mean, for 3 straight weeks, I was waking up bright and early and texting sources and reaching out to people trying to find out where they were on that given day. And, I started to, don't want to go there. Now, the good thing is, and he anticipated it. He said that, there was another PCR test, which takes, longer to process, but he was expecting that to be, positive as well. He wasn't there at practice today. And for the moment, the good news for the Titans, the only other person added to this list seems to be a defensive lineman that they put, Anthony Rush, I think his name is, that they put on the reserve COVID list. So, it's something we're going to be keeping an eye on each and every day as we move forward. And, the soonest that Mike Vrabel could be back, is, you've got to have 2 negative tests in 48 hours, or it's going to be 10 days. So he might not be back till September 1st, guys.
That's an unfortunate situation for the Titans, and I will say that, I thought that Shane Bowen filled the podium well today. Maybe he's going to fill the defensive. Maybe he'll fill that defensive coordinator role just as well. Seems he has so far.
Well, Chris, he did talk about that. He was asked, and just having defensive coordinator on his hands. Last year, he was also doing outside linebackers, right? So just doing these two together, he's feeling, his confidence is growing. He's allowed to see the big picture, go to different groups and things like that. And he says he is feeling more confident. Of course, now, go through 2 preseason games. You've given up 3 points in each game. That will help your confidence grow, I'm thinking. It certainly doesn't hurt, right? So, we've seen them do some of the things that were such issues last year, getting pressure on the quarterback, getting off the field on 3rd down. Those are drastically different right now in these first 2 preseason games. It's always tough to tell in practice, how good a team, how good a unit might be, because, you get used to seeing them, and, guys know the other, what the offense is doing. So it makes it easier sometimes to get the jump. Kevin Byard had a pick today in practice. He's a veteran enough that he's seen this more than a minute, makes it easier maybe to jump a route and do those kind of things. So, but you watch that, it's tough not to think, all the off-season changes are going to pay off for this franchise. And here's the thing, then you start thinking, how much better could they be? I mean, they couldn't have been much worse last year, right? So if they can make a big jump, maybe not 20th in points allowed or 20th in sacks, but if they can get into that middle range around 15, 16, if the offense can continue doing what they did last year, that's a mighty potent combination for a franchise that, has Super Bowl gold.
Speaking of Teresa Walker of the Associated Press here on Southern Middle Tennessee Sports Today, Teresa, in the highlights from the Falcons preseason game and the highlights from the Bucs game this past weekend. It looks like David Long continues to show up at linebacker.
He does. I mean, the thing that they liked when they drafted him was his speed. And, you know, we knew that Jayon Brown is fast. I mean, that's what moved him from, you know, from his draft status to starter and, you know, a guy they brought back this offseason, you know, and speed. You've got to have speed to cover sideline to sideline, right, with these, you know, tight ends, et cetera. And, you know, we knew that he could do some things. But he's now showing them that he can be a more well-rounded linebacker. So you know, it always felt that, you know, they'd hoped that maybe he'd have a chance to replace, or, you know, Rashaan Evans, a guy who, you know, he's kind of like Corey Davis. It's kind of tough to see him back here next year. They didn't pick up his fifth-year option, you know, and he's probably going to get a lot more money somewhere else this next offseason. But in the meantime, you've got David Long. So, you know, the question becomes how much can he push for playing time this season? And are they working him into anything, you know, in their interim to, you know, get him on the field in certain packages? So, you know, when you're getting your hand on the ball, that's a very good sign. So, you know, it's going to be fun to watch and see how much playing time he can push for this year.
It appears A.J. Brown will be back before week 1. Is that what you are understanding?
Well, I'll say this. You know, expecting, I saw the Adam Schefter tweet this morning. It was sent to me, but it's like, you know, I'm not going to worry about who's out right now until we get to next week. You know, A.J. Brown was out there early in a drill, and then he went off to work on some stuff. He was seen, I think, a couple weeks ago wearing like a red sleeve on his leg, and you know, for a guy who had both knees kind of repaired this off season, you know, maybe it's just swelling that comes as you go from rehab to getting back on the field kind of things. We don't know. But, you know, and we won't get an injury report, guys, until, the Wednesday right before the season opener. So, you know, but at this point, I'm not worried about who's not going to be there at this point. I mean, I'm kind of, you know, I'm expecting Julio Jones, A.J. Brown. Derrick Henry got his most work in team drills today that he's had in camp. You know, we're getting to that point now where it's time to start ramping up and going from, you know, rehabbing, taking care, making sure everything is just perfect on some of these guys to getting them back on the field. So, you know, it's going to be fun. But, I mean, did you see what A.J. Brown played through last year? You know, a knee injury in the opener that could have sidelined him for the year. He plays through that, you know, tweaks the other knee. You know, he talked early this camp about how he, you know, sprained an ankle and tore some ligaments in his ankle, and yet, you know, kept playing and was almost glad for the injury because it took his mind off of the knee. And all the guy does is go out and produce a Pro Bowl season. So, A.J. Brown, I am not worried about that young man.
Same.
Teresa, we're coming down to the bottom of this segment, but we would be remiss if we did not get your thoughts on the passing of 2021 Titans Ring of Honor honoree Floyd Reese and his passing this weekend.
I'll just say this, guys. News kind of surprised me, but and then you think back. Well, he left the radio show that he had, you know, for the past 5 years back in mid-December, 73. I'm going to say this. It was a pleasure most of the time dealing with Floyd because, you know, think about this. Jeff Fisher gets most of the credit, you know, being the face of the organization. But, you know, Floyd Reese is the guy that while they're, you know, being lame ducks in Houston, you know, practicing in Nashville in 97 after the relocation to playing games that year in Memphis, a fact that so many people nowadays just forget. And then they're at Vanderbilt. And in the meantime, he was putting together a roster drafting Steve McNair, you know, a future NFL MVP. Eddie George, you know, only ran for 10,000 yards in his career plus. Javon Kearse, who was kind of the piece, the missing link, so to speak, for that Super Bowl team. And think about this. You know, 99, they had the nickname. They had the new stadium opening up. They had the new uniforms. But they needed to win. And the roster that Floyd put together allowed them to do that. And over a 5-year period, guys, they were among the very best in the NFL. 2 AFC Championship game appearances, 1 trophy, 1 Super Bowl berth, the only one in the franchise's 60-plus years of being in existence. And Floyd Reese, you know, he's the winningest GM in the franchise history at this point. something that, I'm sure that, John Robinson hopes to overcome. But, this is a guy who, behind the scenes, maybe you heard him on radio over the years, but he played such a key role for this franchise.
No better way to honor Floyd Reese than to do this year what he was the only one able to do beforehand, and that's to reach the Super Bowl, right? So, Teresa, thanks.
That's what's left.
There you go. Thanks for joining us today. We appreciate your time as always.
My pleasure. Thank you.
All right, when we come back, we're going to talk high school football for the rest of the show. Stick around on Southern Middle Tennessee Sports Today, presented by Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint. Be right back right after this.
According to research, 82% of people remember radio ads. So, 82% of you listening will remember that this is an ad for ZipRecruiter. 82% of you will note that if you're hiring, ZipRecruiter finds qualified people for your job. In fact, 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. And 82% of you will remember that you can try ZipRecruiter for free. But you have to go to ZipRecruiter.com/free. Yes, free. Again, that's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Nielsen says more than 30 million Americans watch Newsmax. It's the 4th highest rated cable news channel, and it's available on all major cable systems. Or find it on smart TVs like Samsung, LG, and more. And it's free on Roku, Xumo, Pluto, Amazon Fire, and TiVo. Or download the Newsmax app on your smartphone. Watch it anytime, anywhere. Forbes described Newsmax as a news powerhouse. Millions of Americans are watching Newsmax. You should too. Tune in today.
Hi, I'm Robert Rogers at Parks Motor Sales Buick GMC.
And I'm Michael Parks Lawrence at Parks Motor Sales Buick GMC.
Together, we're Mr. Bobby Parks' grandsons, and we run his dealership, and we are glad to be part of our local community.
Being family-owned and operated, we invest heavily in our community.
We do things like sports teams, schools, bands, you name it. We try to help everybody we can.
The reason why we do this is because we all love this community.
So come do business with us, your neighbors, at Parks Motor Sales in Columbia, Tennessee, right off Nashville Highway, or at parksmotorsales.com.
Are you thinking about a new fence? Maybe you need a pole barn. Then you should give Sands Fence Company a call. That's 931-309-1644. Will Sands has built his business based on the principles of honesty, quality, and integrity. Sands Fence Company has been in business for over 20 years, providing the community with farm, residential, and commercial fencing, as well as pole barns and buildings. Call today for a free estimate. Sands Fence Company, 931-309-1644. 931-309-1644.
Hi, I'm Steve, the garbage man. By now you all know about Don, our service truck guy. Well, let me tell you about another member of our service team, and that's Mike Ashley. He's the guy you'll talk to when you call the office. Just call and talk to Mike one time at 931-540-0919, and you'll see why we're lucky to have him here at the Garbage Man. Thanks, Mike, for all you do to keep the Garbage Man first in service. That's 931-540-0919.
Why do people trust Tillis Jewelry with their jewelry repairs?
Hi, this is Terry Tillis. We feel each piece of jewelry is important to our customers, and they deserve the utmost care with every item that is brought to us. Your jewelry is inspected when we receive it to determine exactly what repairs are needed. A photo is taken and documented, and then it goes to our goldsmith. Once the repair is completed, the jewelry is re-inspected to make sure it has been restored to its original condition.
Come see us at Tillis Jewelry, located in Columbia and Lewisburg.
American Standard Heating and Air Conditioning is built to a higher standard, so you can focus on the problems in your life that actually matter, like the stair that only creaks when everyone else in the house is asleep. American Standard Heating and Air Conditioning, built to a higher standard.
Call Davis Heating and Cooling at 931-388-2090 for all your home comfort needs. Davis Heating and Cooling is your local American Standard dealer and proudly serves the Maury County area. Find Davis Heating and Cooling online and on Facebook or call today, 388-2090.
For 40 years, Beck Dental Care has been the personalized and comfortable option for the health of your smile. The caring staff maintains a high level of safety protocols and attention to detail. Advanced technology provides your choice of sedation and the best of dental implant solutions to restore complete oral health. Open until 7 p.m. 2 nights a week. 931-388-8452. Beck Dental Care in Columbia, 1603 Rosewood Drive.
Local sports talk you'll only find here. It's Southern Middle Tennessee Sports Today. Live from the Lee Company studio with the Hall of Famer Mo Patton, here's Chris Yao.
Welcome back into Southern Middle Tennessee Sports Today, presented by Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint. Coming to you from the Lee Company studio and WKOM 101.7 FM 94.5, the Eagle WZYX out of Franklin County. Glad to have all of you with us. For those of you watching on YouTube or Facebook or wherever else you may be watching, appreciate you guys. Time to talk a little high school football, kind of reaction Monday type thing. And first, let's talk about a few of the teams that are ranked in the what just came out as the Associated Press top 10 polls. No surprise, in Class 6A, Oakland ranked number 1, Maryville number 2. Summit comes in at number 4, Ravenwood at 5, Beach at 8, and Independence tied at 10th.
Yeah, I think a lot of people are bought into this Independence team despite, Friday's performance. We've talked about Scott Blade and what he's done over the years there. I think that program has earned a lot of respect, and they played a pretty good ball club in CPA. So, that's one game.
Yeah, we'll get to it in just a minute, but it was a good ball game, despite the score. The score is not indicative of how good the ball game was.
Yeah.
As we move to 5A, Henry County sticks at number 3, Mount Juliet at number 4, Powell number 1, by the way, Page rocking at number 10.
Yeah, I think that number 3 ranking for Henry County this week is indicative of the respect, again, that people have for that
number
program.
4 Summit?
Yeah, well, that too, yeah. I mean, you lose at home by 5 touchdowns, and you're still number 3 in the state in your classification. And they have Beach coming in this week.
They didn't pull any punches on the schedule, did they?
No, they did not.
And well done.
And again, win or lose, those are the type ball games that are going to help Henry County, Beach, and Summit all get to where they want to be at the end of the year, which is Chattanooga.
That's right.
So,
Class 4A defending champion Elizabeth at number 1. Pearl Collin grabs a first place vote, but they come in at number 4, right behind Tullahoma, who sits at number 3. South Doyle, after their big win over Oak Ridge, at number 5. Marshall County, after their win over Columbia Central, they pull in the 10th ranking.
3 teams out of that Region 5 4A in Tullahoma, Pearl Collin, and Marshall County ranked, and I think they are going to comprise the top 3 of that region in some way, shape, or form, maybe as they're listed there. I think that's going to be a fun region. It's a 9-team region, so once they get past this coming week, then it's all region play for all of them.
Yeah, in 3A, I'll give you a guess who's number 1, JP. You're probably going to go with Alcoa, huh? It's Alcoa at number 1. East Nashville at 4. Giles County at 5. Fairview tied for 6th. Waverly coming in at 8th.
Fairview tied with Stewart County, to whom they lost in the regular season finale last year for the Region's 6 3A championship. So, and Fairview losing to Page in the Battle of 840 this past weekend. So they'll be looking to bounce back this week.
Giles County put up some points.
51 of them.
Against Lincoln County. So, in 2A, Meigs County tops the list. Westview also getting a first place vote. Huntingdon coming in at 6th. Watertown, after their loss to Fayetteville, number 7. Lewis County, Forest, and then Decatur County Riverside rounding out the top 10 at 8, 9, and 10. Mount Pleasant got 3 votes, by the way. I don't know who voted for them, but they got 3 votes. I'm just saying, I didn't vote for them because I don't have a vote.
maybe that 2-touchdown loss to East Hickman was more impressive for some folks than you thought.
Clearly. I'm not saying anything's wrong with it. I'm just saying that I don't know who votes in this thing. So
there's typically a listing at the bottom. Well,
but there's not.
There's not.
So
yeah. Interesting.
Which is why I don't know who may have voted for them.
Yeah. I think they're better than that game.
I
but
agree.
We'll see. I'm intrigued by Westview with Alabama commit Ty Simpson at quarterback and what that team is going to do over the course of the year. But they come in at number 3 to start the year with 1 first-place vote. So we'll see.
Class 1A defending state champion Fayetteville was number 2 behind the reigning Class 2A state champion Peabody, who got 8 of the 11 votes. Fayetteville got 2, and I don't know who got the other one.
Must be somebody among others receiving votes.
Probably Lake County.
Might be Greenfield with the 10 points there. That might have all come from one voter.
There's that. It's possible, I guess.
Yeah.
South Pittsburgh, a big win. They're in their Cornersville. They're tied for 5th with Coalfield. And then Moore County comes in at number 8 locally. Huntland received some votes as well as Eagleville.
I'd not be a bit surprised if the 1 and the 2 teams are the 2 teams that you see in the state championship game at the end of the year.
I don't think they can be.
Does Fayetteville go west?
I have no idea. They may not go west this year. They did last year because they played South Pittsburgh in the finals. So I don't know which way they go this year because I don't have it in front of me.
I'm just gonna say,
but they're gonna see each other at some point. I think
if they meet before Chattanooga, it's still the state championship.
You're probably unless South Pittsburgh. I mean, South Pittsburgh's pretty good, but neither. You're probably right. In D2, this one, Grace Christian got 16 votes.
Now
would have been the number 17 if there were 10.
Now there's multiple Grace Christians.
Yeah, I don't know if that's Knoxville or I can't imagine it's.
I don't
maybe
think
it
it's
is
Franklin Grace, but I mean I don't know. I don't know.
That's why. Anyway, Donaldson Christian, number 1, Nashville Christian, number 2. In Class 2A, surprise, surprise, CPA and Lipscomb Academy at 1 and 2, and that's just who Independence gets this week is number 2. Yeah. Lipscomb Academy. I guess we'll figure out which one should be number 1 and which one should be number 2 after this week, and we'll let Scott Blade decide.
I don't think. If that's the case, you want to ask him that question.
Well, I mean, so Class 3A, 3AA, or Class 3A in Division 2, all 5 teams ranked got a first-place vote. So,
that's funny.
And then somebody else did too. I guess Pope John Paul did because, as you see there, that's only 10. So,
well, it looks like that might be all that voted in D2 because you've got CPA, Lipscomb, and Boyd Buchanan getting the first place votes in Class 2.
You might be right.
Yeah, so it looks like maybe only 10 people voted in Division 2. So,
Class 3A is kind of that's where all of the parity really comes in in D2.
Well, I mean, you're talking about 11 teams.
Yeah,
total. Meanwhile, if anybody can answer for me when Pope John Paul II became Pope Prep, I would love to know because I've seen them referred to as Pope Prep over this preseason and over the last week or so.
I feel like we know a guy who should know that.
Well, and when I see him again, I'm probably going to ask him. But,
to ask that question.
Yeah, because all I've ever known them as was Pope John Paul II or JP2.
Right.
But
not as opposed to JP.
JP2, not JP.
Yes, I've got a little information on that.
Talk to me.
They have opened up a middle school age group. So because of that, partially they have moved away from Pope John Paul II to Pope Prep because it is a full preparatory or medium size. But I think there are other potential political issues with namesake of I think might be an issue as well.
Okay. Well, there you go.
Thank you.
The more you know. We had one of those. Zing.
Yeah.
We need one of those.
TIL today.
Today we learned. All right, Mo, let's talk a little bit about some of these games that we saw over the weekend. We will start with let's start with Summit Henry County because
one of the games we didn't see.
Well, yeah. Well, I saw a lot of it because I was being fed some highlights from the Gridiron Club at Summit, and about halfway through the first quarter, I get a text that says Destin Wade has almost 200 rushing yards in the first quarter, and he scored 3 touchdowns. And I'm like, I'm sorry, what? What did you just say? I know that's not true.
Guy finished with 6 carries for 265 yards and 4 touchdowns, including touchdown runs of 75, 80, and 98 yards. If you had told James Counts Jr. that he was going to give up 75, 80, and 98 yard runs to one guy, he'd have punched you in the face.
He wouldn't have been happy about the thought of it.
And I'd say he probably wanted to punch somebody in the face on the sideline the other night.
Well, I mean, yeah, come on now. 90 and the 98 yard was a scramble, by the way. It wasn't a designed run. It was he eluded pressure in the end zone and really ran 107-ish from when he took off. So, yeah. And then, of course, you had the pick 6 by John Dippold, and
of course, Brady Pierce scores twice.
There's Brady Pierce.
There's Brady Pierce just doing Brady Pierce things.
That's what he's going to do. So, this is a Summit team that I may be believing has some 6A possibilities here.
Tough to think otherwise.
I mean,
that's why they're ranked number 4 in the AP poll this week.
There you go. So, yeah, again, Destin Wade with another just dynamic performance. I think a lot of that might be because he's playing with a little bit of a chip on his shoulder. Everybody's talking about Keaton, and everybody's saying, well, Destin, not sure he can play it, at the next level, that sort of thing. And he's like, you know what, let me show you what I can do against one of the best teams in the state.
I'm just interested to see if he can keep up this 44-yard per carry average.
I don't think he can, but we'll see. Other games of note, we were just talking about that Mount Pleasant East Hickman game. East Hickman with a 35-21 win over Mount Pleasant. I'm a little surprised by the 35 points and a little surprised by
the
only 21.
Yeah. But DeMarcus Brown had 2 touchdown catches in that ball game. When we talked about this game, we felt like Mount Pleasant had an edge on the edge. Sounds like they weren't able to take advantage of that to the degree that we would have expected. I kind of wish I could have seen that game or gotten a little bit more feedback on it. But
I wish we would have gotten a little more feedback as well. Hopefully we can solidify something this week. Battle of the Buffalo JP, the Lawrence County Wildcats get the win.
Tell me something, JP, because I was trying to acquire this knowledge late Friday night, early Saturday morning. Where does the Buffalo River run relative to Summertown and Lawrenceburg?
The Buffalo, it's west. It runs basically to Waynesboro.
So it's not between them?
No. Okay. No. It's the road that it's, as we discussed. Yeah, I'm sure I think the Buffalo River might snake its way close at some point, maybe close to Henryville, but it's mostly west.
Henryville?
Yeah,
Henryville.
I don't know what that is.
Henryville.
I've never heard of this.
Never heard of Henryville?
No.
Okay.
Can't say that. I'm not up on my Lawrence County geography.
It's a road. It's Buffalo Road.
Buffalo
it's not
Road.
the river.
It's the road, not the river.
Yeah, Battle of the Buffalo is the Buffalo Road.
Apparently, Summertown dropped the game-winning touchdown pass in the end zone. So that's coming from a Summertown homer. So I don't know how accurate.
Is it your favorite homer?
Yes, I'm not sure how accurate that information is. I'm just saying that I was told that Summertown dropped the game-winning touchdown in the end zone. Now I don't know if it was a, hit him in the chest kind of thing, or if it was off the fingertips, or if it was overthrown by 30 yards. I don't know. So anyway,
or if it happened with 30 seconds left or 10 minutes left.
Yeah. Loretto 7-6 winner over Collingwood late.
Yeah,
So-
all of the points were late. I think all of the points were in the last 4 minutes of the game, and Loretto fumbled into the end zone, fell on it in the end zone for a touchdown to win it.
Didn't know that was legal.
I
don't think it is. We'll talk more high school football on the other side. Stick around. Southern Middle Tennessee Sports Today.
One-stop shopping. That's why so many people shop Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, Ram, Fiat of Columbia. As the #1 volume CDJR dealer in Tennessee, we offer the largest selection of new Ram, Jeep, Dodge, and Chrysler vehicles. And when you have the largest selection of new, you have the largest selection of used, too. Combine that with state-of-the-art, fast, accurate service, and you've got Tennessee's #1 volume dealer. Shop online at Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, Ram of Columbia.net. Middle Tennessee's Ram Truck and Jeep headquarters. You can count on us. Based on combined retail and fleet sales as reported by Chrysler in the state of Tennessee in 2019.
Hello, I'm Barbara Lincoln with Hollins Pharmacy. You may have heard our previous commercials about compression hosiery that we carry at Hollins Pharmacy. Well, we've recently expanded into a full line of knee braces, back, wrist, ankle, and other support wear. We will gladly help you get just the right fit for these items and, of course, special order items to ensure the proper fit. Come see us at Hollins Pharmacy, 1608 Hatcher Lane, or call us at 931-388-4233. 388-4233.
If you come to Arby's from 2 to 5 p.m., you can get sliders for $1. For another $1, you can get a small drink or fries or snack shake. And for the low, low price of another $1, you can round out this afternoon snack with warm cookies. It's really a meal at this point, but call it a snack. That way, you can come back for dinner. Arby's, we have the meat.
Dollar price valid for small fries and drinks, snack shakes, and classic sliders. Available at participating locations for a limited time.
Hey folks, this is Chandler Anderson from the Right Care Clinic located in front of Walmart. We've been open 11 years there now, and 11 seems to be our magic number. We open at 11 a.m. to 11 p.m., and we're open 7 days a week to make sure that you get the right care you need. Come on by and see Caitlin, Kim, and Robert, and they'll get you the right care. Remember, we were there for you during COVID. We never shut our doors. Right Care Walk-In Clinic located in front of Walmart, open 11 a.m. to 11 p.m. every day of the week. Remember, folks, we stay late so you don't wait.
Serving Murray County for 40 years, the Jewelers Bench has provided the highest quality jewelry at the very best prices. They work hard to make their customers happy, and it's paid off. Their customers keep going back. Quality jewelry, custom vintage and estate pieces, and professional jewelry and watch repairs. We offer jewelry loans up to $4,500, and we will buy your gold. The Jewelers Bench, still here, still the same. 808 Trotwood Avenue, Columbia.
Terrence here at Shepherd Lumberyard, where we value you, the customer. We've been serving Columbia and surrounding areas since 1946. We're located in our new location at 103 Cemetery Avenue. Anything that has to do with building or remodeling, we're here to assist. When you shop local, you help shape the community. We are locally owned, family owned, and veteran owned. And by the way, God is in charge. You can reach us at 931-388-3612, and our website is shepherdlumberyard@yahoo.com.
Hey, this is Derek Ransom with 10 Pin Alley, voted #1 family entertainment center in Murray County. We offer 32 bowling lanes, giant arcade, laser tag, bumper cars, and a full cafe and bar menu. We also specialize in group events, kids and adult birthday parties, company parties, sports team parties, and holiday parties. We're located at 322 East James Campbell Boulevard in Columbia. Call us today at 931-381-BOWL or visit us at 10pin.com. 10 Pin Alley, it's where the good times roll.
Covering the teams you care about. It's Southern Middle Tennessee Sports Today. Once again, live from the Lee Company studio. With the Hall of Famer Mo Patton, here's Chris Yao.
Welcome back in Southern Middle Tennessee Sports Today, presented by Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint, coming to you on this Monday as we take you all the way home on this drive time hour, quarter till the top of hour number 2, where we will leave you for the day. We'll see you back tomorrow at 4 o'clock. Same bat time, same bat channel. Mo, our fast stop game of the week last week, Independence and Christ Presbyterian, lived up to the hype for about a half. And it was kind of an unfortunate situation for Independence because it just felt like everything that could go wrong did for most of the time. Although I want to start with this because I think you're going to find this interesting, as we were just talking about illegalities.
Potential illegalities, because we're just not sure.
We don't know. Yeah, we weren't there. Independence was flagged 3 times for false start when they did their patented set and drew CPA offsides. 3 times they drew CPA offsides with their set and all the linemen go down.
Mm-hmm.
All 3 times, false start was called.
They had that same issue in the first Brentwood game last year, I think, where they raise up, come back down, and somebody comes across and got flagged for it.
Well, the problem was, and Scott Blade was hot. I'm talking about you could see the steam
coming off his head. Yep.
And all they do it. They do it all the time.
All the time. Yep.
So, and that's the thing. Like you have to do it like a lot. Like you can't just do it on occasion.
Yeah.
And they got flagged for it. I think it was poor officiating and poor planning on the officials' part, because you have to understand that going into that game.
And I wonder, I don't know if Scott has that conversation with them in pregame or anything like that. Look, this is what we do. I don't know if you should have to, because
you've been doing it for 10 years. You should know by now. Officials know by now. And if not one, if one of them says, it's false start, there's 6 other guys out there who say, wait a minute.
That's what they do.
So anyway, I just thought that was kind of interesting, because it ended up, it went from what would have been a first down the other way, ended up 1st and 20. And puts you behind the chains pretty early.
Yeah.
So
1st and 20 is certainly not where you want to be.
No, it's not. And on top of that, I think it was 2 interceptions. I'm not sure if
I believe so. It's 1 or 2.
First pass of his career that counted.
Was picked?
Joe Cummings. It was picked, but it went right through the hands of Jack Rummel, and ended up in a CPA player's hands. And that's the kind of thing, like I said, everything that could go wrong did go wrong. Ingle Martin said after the game, if the field had been dry and the balls weren't wet, this is probably a different ball game.
Yeah. Playing with a first-time quarterback in real time in a game that counts and that kind of thing, and no matter how much 7-on-7 you get, no matter how much pregame scrimmage or preseason scrimmage you get, that first game under the lights that counts, you're still going to have some that extra amount of butterflies, I would imagine. And they had a lot of guys in positions that they've probably not been in before in terms of playing time and spots on the depth chart and that kind of thing.